Literacy is critical in helping us make sense of our world. From the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, we are constantly making meaning of the world around us. But what do you mean by literacy? Literacy has traditionally been thought of as reading and writing. Although these are essential components of literacy, today our understanding of literacy encompasses much more. So how does the research define literacy for children aged 3 to 8? According to Alexander 1997 and 2006, the development of literacy occurs across the lifespan of the individual from womb to tomb. It is important to view literacy across such a lifespan and in turn to consider and conceptualize. The Program for International Student Visa conducted with students aged 15 years by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, defined literacy as understanding, using, and reflecting on written text in order to achieve one's goal. The Progress in International Reading Literacy Study, or PIRLS, conducted with 4th grade students, define literacy as the ability to understand and use those written language forms required by society and/or valued by the individual. Both of these definitions emphasize the constructivist interactive processes of reading, where readers actively construct meaning from the text. Both PISA and PIRLS recognize the importance of literacy to empower the individual to develop reflection, critique, and empathy, leading to a sense of self-efficacy, identity, and full participation in our society. Learning ecology is the physical, social, and cultural context in which learning takes place. Researchers have used the metaphor of the learning ecology to describe the multiple realities and the complex, multi-level, dynamic, transactional interplay and interdependency which is evolving rather than static between multiple. The classroom learning ecology involves the classroom curriculum, teaching pedagogies, the relationship between the teachers and the students, and the relationship between children and peers in a social learning environment. It does also involve the relationship and social capital of the class teacher in his or her relationship with their colleagues, with school administrators, relationship of teacher with parents, and the availability of resources such as computers, ICT and books, and of course the availability of technical ICT support. In addition, the definition of literacy provided by the PIACC considers literacy as developing across a lifespan continuum to enable the individual to achieve their potential and to participate fully within their communities and in the wider The definition espoused by the Department of Education and Skills or DES in the National Strategy for Literacy and Numeracy notes that literacy includes the capacity to read, understand, and critically appreciate various forms of communication, including spoken language. Given the prevalence of digital, since multimodality is seen as a key aspect of early learning, a definition of literacy for young children must be one that encompasses the various modes of representation, including play and drawing. Strategic reading is the extraction and construction of meaning from text by the teachers and students. It is both developmental in nature and open to instruction. According to Alexander in 2003 and 2006, there are two types of strategic reading. First is the surface level, and second is the deep level strategic reading. Surface level strategic reading process happens when the readers altered the reading rate when problem occur, while deep level strategic reading process happens when the reader transforms the text. Alexander, in her model of domain learning, contends that reading develops across the lifespan of the reader from womb to tomb. There are three stages. First is the acclimation, second, competence, and third, expertise or proficiency. In the acclimation stage, reader knowledge is fragmented, piecemeal, and naive, and the reader uses surface-level strategies, drawing on limited experiences and prior knowledge. Next is the competence. The competence phase is characterized by deeper processing strategies, drawing on a more cohesive and extensive prior knowledge base, individual interest in a topic, and motivation, which is more intrinsic in nature. Third is the proficient. The proficient or expert reader draws on a highly principled and rich knowledge base with effective and efficient use of strategies and an individual rather than a situational identification and investment in domain knowledge. Emergent literacy stage. Given that the age range for the review is 3 years old to 8 years old, the concept of emergent literacy is particularly significant. Whitehurst and Lonigan define emergent literacy as the skills, knowledge, and attitudes that are presumed to be developed. According to Eced, NCCA, emergent literacy is concerned with children developing a growing understanding of print and language as a foundation for reading and writing. Through play and hands-on experience, children see and interact with print as they build Over 2 decades ago, Soulsby and Thiel identified the term emergent literacy as a new way of conceptualizing reading and writing development. According to them, the meaning of emergent literacy is the reading and writing behaviors that precede and develop. Emergent literacy ascribes to the child the role of constructor of his or own literacy. We can see the growth in the conception of the notion of emergent literacy by comparing the Soulsby and Thiel definition with that of the following researchers viewed literacy or emergent literacy as separate from oral language and metalinguistic skills. This view proposes that emergent literacy must be composed of two components. First is the children's conceptual knowledge includes children's knowledge of the acts of reading and writing and their perception of themselves as readers and writers, while procedural knowledge includes letter name, letter sound, and some word reading. The development of oral language, which includes listening comprehension, vocabulary, and metalinguistic skills, which include phonological awareness, are considered as separate constructs, as the interrelations and patterns across each of these elements change over time. Although reading, writing, and oral language skills and strategies are crucially important to develop, it is important to espouse a broad vision of literacy which encompasses the cognitive, affective, socio-cultural, cultural, historical,